Welcome everyone to beautiful Costa Rica, and that's where we find ourselves on this particular adventure with the Adventures Travel Club television show. And here we are trumping through the jungle, somebody.
Yeah, it was exciting. I like this kind of adventure.
Yeah, this was something. We're getting into different types of forests. There's rainforest, there's in-between forest, there's cloud forest, and we're going to find out a little bit about that on today's show. And our guide, Alfredo, there with the blue shirt, is going to tell us a little bit about this. He used to work for the forestry department before he went to work for the Bureau of Tourism. Here we can see one of the rivers that is coming down actually from a volcano. But let's listen to Alfredo tell us about this himself.
Because it looks like dirty, it's like brown, and it's not because of the mud. Because this river comes from the lowlands of the Irazu volcano, which is in front of us, but it's covered by the clouds. And it comes with sulfur and different oxides, so that's why it is brown. We're going to pass by a bridge, so where the Diri River goes together with the Costa Rica River, and the Costa Rica River is green, and the Diri River is Diri, it's brown, and it goes together without mixing, like 3 or 2 kilometers. So it's pretty nice. This is the transition between the cloud forest and the rainforest. As you can see, it's humid.
And we are in which one?
We're transition. This is transitional one.
Feels like the humid.
Yeah. Feels like the humid with it. You see, the trees they are taller, they're wider also. There's different kinds. There's this tree, which is the guayao. It's the favorite one for the tree and the two-toed sloth. So it's pretty nice. We might get the chance to see one. Maybe, yeah. Monkeys, howler monkeys. They're resting at this moment, but they are somewhere in here.
Well, we didn't see any of the monkeys or the three-toed sloths. I guess it was their siesta time, evidently.
Well, isn't it an incongruous, really, to be in the terrain that we're in, and then you hear the cars going by?
Yeah.
It's just so
well, we weren't too far off of that main highway.
No wonder we didn't see the monkeys.
Probably, yeah. It probably kept them awake.
Or even hear them, yeah.
Right. But anyway, you can see how dense this foliage is here, and that the river there, which is a little distance away, as he was saying, the confluence of two different rivers that come together there. But, and it was a little humid, wasn't it? Even though we weren't there at the hottest time of the year, you could feel the humidity a bit.
I was never uncomfortable. And if you notice, I wear long sleeves a lot because, well, first of all, if in case there were insects, it does give you great protection. And can't get too much sun.
Yeah, you got to be careful about that. That's why we can always find Betty with her big flying hat.
My flying hat, yeah, flying off to eternity.
Yeah. So, but I didn't notice that though. I mean, I didn't notice as far as you used to talk about about the bugs and things. I wasn't bothered by any of them at all.
We weren't slapping.
No, not at all. Maybe it's because we rubbed those leaves on us.
Oh, come on. We didn't rub those leaves on until we'd gotten a little ways into it. No, they just weren't around.
Yeah. No, that's a, kind of a fallacy. I think people think, oh, you're going in the jungle, you're going to be eaten alive by bugs. No, I haven't. I've been in the jungles in Mexico the same way, too. I wasn't bothered by them at all. So maybe they just don't like me. I don't know.
You're not sweet enough.
Well, that may be true. I got to put more sugar in my coffee,
right? You better
right?
get nicer, and then the bugs will like you, too.
Okay. Well, this is the main highway, and going down the main highway, we happened upon a butterfly farm, something that we didn't expect, did we?
Marv, isn't that funny? I was thinking of Ireland. Oh, isn't that stupid? But did you notice the thatched roof? And I think, what they call them, the thatch. The thatched
That's what they
roof.
say.
And so I think, oh my gosh, and you see those thatched roofs everywhere. Yes, this was really a treat to have just stumbled upon.
It certainly was, and it's really interesting to take a look at.
Yeah, they are.
Isn't it wonderful, baby concept?
The monarch butterfly comes
Beautiful
out of a
features.
gum-looking thing that hangs down. It's ugly,
Right.
and these gorgeous things emerge.
It's amazing.
Beautiful, beautiful.
It's amazing, huh?
You wonder how anything looks so ugly can turn into something so beautiful.
Well, look at the swan.
Yeah, that's true.
Does happen.
But look at
But
these
they
things.
are. This really is gross.
And these things are big. I mean, these are big. Those are several inches long.
Those are, but it depends on the butterfly that's going to come out.
Yeah, we're going to see some of those actually emerge in just a little bit. But Alfredo's going to tell us exactly where we are.
We pass through a piece which is all these areas, the Braulio Carrillo National Park, the River Volcano, we stop over here, we stop then again here, at this moment, close to this place that says 32, right here.
Well, from the looks of the map, you can see we're a little ways from the capital, San Jose, which is there in red, and we just went into that forest, or what I call the jungle area. But later on, we're going to go and see some of the butterflies themselves. These are some of the fellows that work here.
These are
all the
brothers.
time.
Did you know the brothers worked together on this? It was a family enterprise, and it started out very small, and then just like Topsy, it grew.
And they export these, so this is
good living for them.
Yeah, I should say.
Little spider.
What do you do? Oh, does he pick them off and then put them here? Pick when he sees they're ready to develop?
¿Qué es lo que hacen?
They don't grow here.
¿Los cogen de allá y los ponen aquí o no?
Traemos las larvas de adentro y algunos huevos los pasamos aquí adentro, es donde alimentamos la larva para que luego se formen.
Okay, they take them from there.
¿Y
right.
qué hacen? Las mariposas las venden.
And
¿no?
they eggs
Sí, o
and
nada
they
más las
feed
tienen
them
para-
here
Oh, okay.
until they're ready.
Que salen
Okay.
así.
Ajá,
Look
las
at the
salen así las
tarantula.
están
I know.
exportando.
Is he alive?
Okay, they export
I don't think
as
they
the North
can.
companies, the
But these
chrysalids, as the butterfly farm, they export these when
Así
they are
las
in this
exportan.
process, so they export them.
Oh, that's
¿Cuál
how
es el
they
propósito de
export.
exportación?
El
Oh, you
propósito es
export
que
the.
This is the butterfly that the larvas that are out there.
bedrooms.
Hercules?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't realize that there were so many varieties of butterflies until I started. And look at that one; it's just iridescent, isn't it beautiful?
And who could not believe in a God that produces such magnificent things?
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
yeah.
Even these ugly little creatures.
Yeah, but they're only
Those little
ugly
beetles.
to start with.
Yeah.
and-
Well,
and-
that's true, and they turn into something
yeah.
beautiful.
And most of them are functional. They have, well, I don't know how functional a butterfly is, except for the beauty of it.
But doesn't the butterfly also pollinate too? I mean, don't they go from
They do
from plant to
that,
plant?
and then they produce butter to put on our bread. They don't fly away.
I think you've
Wouldn't
been
be
reading
very
a
good, huh?
fantasy booklet there
I
somewhere.
think, and
yeah.
I told you I did a study of this with my kids in the 6th grade one time. We'd go
Uh-huh.
up to Sonora to camp, and we did see quite a number of the monarch butterflies, and also of that one butterfly that has like 2 eyes, and for the life of me, even though we did a study, I can't remember the name of it.
These
Forgive
you
me.
can see this one's still emerging right
Yes,
here. It's
uh-huh.
emerging out of its little cocoon.
And they come out a little damp. Oh, it's just...
That look like they look like leaves actually. I mean, so I guess the natural camouflage must be pretty good. And here you can see the caterpillar itself.
How
Boy,
they eat. Look at
yeah.
how the leaf, the limb is all gone. It's interesting to watch the silkworms do that to the mulberry leaves.
Yes, that's true.
Oh my gosh, they eat a lot.
But doesn't this just look like leaves? And the other things look sort of like an elongated grape or something.
Isn't that crazy? And those are living. They're going to be beautiful butterflies.
Like this. I mean, these are magnificent. Now, there are a few butterfly farms, from what we understand, located in Costa Rica, and this was the one we were on our way into to go to see the canopy of the jungle. Look, Betty, they're the blue iridescent ones there that we have. Those are just beautiful. And later on, we actually saw some of those in the wild. I say the wild because simply this area was
screened in.
It was screened
actually.
in. Uh-huh.
I don't know if it was screened, but it was netted probably
Yeah.
in, some kind of netting.
So that they couldn't get out.
And look at how they've arranged it for viewing with the little paths that you can take, and you could spend hours in here.
We really could. This is just like almost like a living museum. You know?
We did have time because we were just usins. We didn't have a deadline to meet, so we did have a real enjoyable time.
It was.
Y ves, donde vamos a tener esa otra actividad, que son de rana y con fines comerciales también.
They're planning to start a project in the Pacific South of reproduction of frogs.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
I wonder if any of these are endangered, either the butterflies or the frogs, I mean, to be able to do this. Now, this is a commercial venture here with the butterflies. I didn't know about the frogs. But, what surprises me, and it shouldn't, I guess, but these people in Costa Rica are so ecologically conscious. I mean, they really want to preserve the rainforest and the rivers. In fact, when we go whitewater rafting a little bit later on, one of the other episodes, the kids there that were with us were just adamant about trying to save the river because they want to dam the river up, and they're just scared to death that they're going to lose, part of the rainforest there.
Well, what would Costa Rica be if it didn't have its rainforests? And I mean, that is the land.
That is, and the national parks that are there are several of them, and it's great that they've been able to keep that. I noticed even when we were in the hotels and things, they had various containers. You put plastic in one thing, you put paper in another, and they really, as I say, they were carrying that out all the way through. So it's a good thing to see.
They had great T-shirts. Remember, we bought one that says on the back, "Preserve Costa Rica."
Yeah, save the rainforest.
Yeah,
that's right.
And they were neat. We got one from river rafting also, but that wasn't to advertise the rainforest or anything. That was just to make some money.
Yeah, well, sure, but it might though, because I think anything that they derived there was going to go back into to help the ecology there.
Oh, these were entrepreneurs. They were doing their own thing. These were salespeople selling the shirt.
Well, I know, but
nice.
I was talking to one of the guys. I mean, they were so interested in saving it any way that they could. So, and you can see. Once you're there, you can see the beauty of it, and it'd be terrible if this was lost because
it's not going to be. They're not.
Well,
they're
they're still doing some logging there, and a lot of them were very concerned about that. So
well, I think they're concerned a lot about the atmosphere. I mean, what is put into the air with the cars and stuff. There's just as much damage done from the pollution in the air that is I think as bad or even worse maybe than the logging it could be.
Well, there's still a lot of trees there. I don't know.
Yeah, and they have to do logging. Logging is important. You have to thin it out. That's nature. Either that or you have a forest fire that'll burn it out. That's the way it's always been. Take out the dead. Take out when it's overcrowded. And make
well, I think
room
in some areas of forest areas, you have to have that to repopulate the trees and the stuff. But I don't know. I don't know down here whether they get that much in the way of fires because you've got rain every afternoon. So it's I don't know, probably a natural balance.
Well, but that would be lightning or something.
Yeah,
that would cause
I suspect so, and they probably do get a lot of that up in the higher elevations. I suspect. We're going to travel now because we do want to go into the canopy of the rainforest, and it's a little further on down the road as we travel on the main highway from San Jose, which is the capital, right in the middle of Costa Rica, and this road would then take us to Limón, which is a port city on the eastern portion of the country, which would sit there in the Caribbean or the Atlantic side. And what surprised me again is that, like you say, the people are very entrepreneurial because the area that we're going to go to is also a private business that they have back there. I thought at first it might have been run by the government, but it's not. It's private.
And there we are.
Yeah, well, we got to stop for lunch first, and we did, and we had a real nice lunch, and then we were going to continue on down the road a little bit more and get more into the forest or the jungle. However you want to refer to it. I keep saying jungle. To me, it's jungle.
Marv, there was something about that drink. I didn't eat because I don't eat like you guys do, but what was that drink you had made out of fruit?
I didn't have it. I don't know.
No, okay.
I didn't have it. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't know, but there was.
Gina had it, and it was supposed to be the local thing that everybody drinks.
It might be. There were a lot of good tropical fruit drinks there, that's for sure.
Oh, this looks familiar.
I'm one of the local guys of this area, okay? Now we're going to go around 500 meters hills down. We're gonna get off, we're gonna take a small trail and cross a hanging footbridge. And the other side there's other trail waiting for you, okay?
So what we did here is we loaded ourselves into a truck, and then we were trucked back, actually almost to a place where a river is, and then we walked on this trail, and then we would get into another truck after that and go back further into the jungle until we got to the place where we were going to get in the little trams and go up into the canopy itself. But these trails were very nice. They were very easy to walk on and give you a chance to see an awful lot of the plants really close up.
They've done a very good job, though, of leaving it just as it should be with just the pathway itself.
Well, even what they used in some of the areas there where they were using some of the wooden things, what they did is they were using trees that had already fallen so that they weren't taking anything fresh. Hey, we're going to take a look at a little bit of something that is live that I want to stay away from.
There's a little snake, brown one, very hard to see, has a great camouflage.
Is it poisonous snake?
Yeah, do you see it?
It's
Yeah.
Oh,
Is it?
yeah.
Right here.
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh,
yeah.
The brown thing that you see, that's a hognose viper. Hognose is one of the vipers that's very poisonous. And there's another one that we call eyelash viper that's very common also here. You may see some on the tram if you're lucky. And they're not aggressive. They never attack you if you don't grab them or if you don't disturb them before. And in Costa Rica we have 136 species of those snakes, and 118 are not poisonous. Only 18 are poisonous, and this is one of those poisonous ones. And that's why I'll have to be careful always when walking the trails. And for example, you cannot get out of the trail, you cannot touch the leaves, just for safety. I recommend you that.
thank you. We will
I'll take your
follow
recommendation.
advice.
Yeah, that's one thing I will take his recommendation on. I'll stay away from those little critters.
Well, you swore that was a fake one at first. You said, "Oh,
Well, that's
Betty,
what I
they
thought.
just
But I went-
planted that for the camera."
But well, I know he had to take the wood away from there,
Yeah.
so he knew that's where that snake was taking up residence. Anyway, we're going to go across a little footbridge here, and there are some fish down here that we are told are cousins to the piranha. How about those? And you know what they like to eat. However, we were told after we started looking, I never did see them. I know that the rest of you did, but I couldn't find them with the camera. I looked down there and I couldn't find them at all. But then we found out that these were vegetarian piranhas.
So
They
we
didn't
were
like-
safe. If
yeah,
we'd have fallen in, it would have been okay.
That's right.
And that was one of those shaky bridges, you know.
Yeah, a little footbridge.
Yeah, but no. Well, I guess okay, it moved.
It moved, right, yeah. It was shaky, all right. Oh, boy.
They're like me.
Fruits and also insects.
Where do they get the fruit? Just from what drops into the river?
Trees dropping.
Well, as long as they wanted to eat the fruit and not the folks.
Well, I don't think anybody'd give them a chance.
No, I don't think so either. Actually, that footbridge was very safe. And we're going to go back now a little further back into the forest or jungle, whatever, however you prefer. And then we get into another little truck, and we go back for a little while, and then we get out, and we're finally, at our destination. But it is a little bit of a walk, and I was surprised though, Betty, because I thought, well, we would be here. We're going to load into the other truck. I thought it'd be awfully warm, but and you notice that he's carrying a little water jug around with it just in case we do get a little too warm. But it wasn't bad at all.
No, I didn't think so. I was sometimes wishing I didn't have the long sleeves on, but they're always comfortable.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
But see,
and
you
it
gave
was-
me all that stuff to lug. I had on that
Right.
thing on my back. You gave me. I had to take tapes and I had to take all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and then we found out that the camera wanted to goof up on us anyway.
Yeah.
Well, this is part of the tram that we're going to get on in just a little bit, and this is quite a venture.
This is really Disneyland. He's fooling you.
Yeah.
This magnificent project, if you let me to say, it's been in operation since October '94, almost 2 years right now. But the full process took us about 4 years. 2 years to build this thing, and 2 years to decide how to build, to import and prepare the materials in order to create something new that nobody knew exactly how to do it. And right now in October is going to be our second anniversary in touristic operation. It's the first one in the world, the only one in the world that is done in a forest. So this is unique.
Is this government?
No, it's privately owned. Actually, it's what we call in Costa Rica a public company that you can buy shares. Okay.
And what about all this restaurant and everything?
Well, we've been growing. When I said 2 years, I was talking about this machine, the heart of operation, the tram, the aerial tram. But afterwards, we've been growing and growing. Well, we got pictures that shows that little building over there, which is falling right now, it's an old building, was the operation center, was the restaurant, was the visitor center, was the video center, it was everything. The restaurant was the first building made, and our work is improve ideas with the tropical style of the sun. Indigenous actually are making their ceilings and walls with this cane, which is normally growing at the side of a river. It's called the brave cane. Brave cane.
Brave? That's what Alfredo showed us.
It's the palm leaves on the ceiling, just in order to maintain the perfect environment with the forest too. We're being working on the trails too, using this kind of flash tabs. The Costa Rica they call them cookies. The woody cookies, they are just for steps, wood steps on the trail, using an item tag. Just keeping the way how the forest is, and especially because like that we're not buying any wood that maybe comes from the forest. Most of the wood you will find in here, comes from trees that are already falling into secondary areas. Because our property, which is 454 hectares, has 20% of it as secondary forest, where normally you will find a secondary growth like the way you pass through with a truck, because about 20% of our property was owned for little farmers before. Little farmers that were planting, especially cocoa tree, chocolate, a little bit of macadamia, and making especially experimental plantations. So that areas are like the area we're using just to compare how the forests grow after destruction, and to show everybody how the things can change with the human being happy.
This is beautiful. It just fits in.
Exactly. Fits in
the terrain. Yeah, it looks lovely.
Yeah, you just gotta sit over there and watch the hummingbirds playing around.
This was quite an operation. I mean, there's a beautiful restaurant that they had here, and he said the hummingbirds over on the other side. Yeah, I was very impressed,
Well,
weren't you?
look how long it took, he said. It wasn't just done overnight.
No,
they
that's
did it
for sure.
properly. 2 years in the planning. I guess anything worth doing is worth doing well.
Evidently, and they certainly have done that here.
Right now, we're working hard to keep our staff working for us. We got an excellent, marvelous staff that we want to keep. We think that, well, it's obvious that if they go out, another company will be into the service. And we're working so hard, improving our system. This is the time we're using for our educational program, which is what really proud us about it. We got a program with the kids of the sun that is going on, the local people and international schools just showing the rainforest. Thanks to the visit of our visitors, common people, we can give assist to Costa Rican students to enjoy the canopy without paying. So the idea is bringing, last year we did a list of 2,000 students coming with our educational program to see the canopy. Our idea is to attack the citizen of the future, who is going to have the government in his hands, and increase this feeling of protection for the forest. We're trying to show that the rainforest is more valuable than standing mankind. That's our principal goal in this place.
And now we're in the little cars, and we're going through the canopy, as you can see. As you're going, you're sort of in the lower portion, and then as you come up and turn around and come back, you're in the higher area right there. And it was interesting because these pylons that are put there to hold us in place were done by the Nicaraguan Air Force.
That's
They
right.
were the ones. They were the helicopters. They were the ones that put this in. So this gives you a great chance. And then we also, it was very, very quiet in here, and we also had a guide that was with us in the little car and explaining to us a lot of the plants, and then pointing out some of the birds and some of the other animals that were there. And you wanted it to be very quiet too, because you didn't want to disturb anything. I mean, it's just so quiet and so lush and so natural.
Like being in church.
Yeah, really. Well, sure.
You do
there
feel
you
the
are.
presence always. But the thing that always intrigued me, Marv, as we went through, were how the roots grew down. They, from the top down into the ground.
Right.
It was fascinating to see that.
Well, and that's what we did see a lot of, because these little plants, the little plants will grow in a little crevice in a tree, and then the particular ones will go ahead and they'll drop those long vines, which actually become the roots, and then sometimes they'll engulf the whole host tree, and that was
like a parasite.
yeah, very much so. And those were particular types of trees. I guess they did that, but there's so many varieties of plants here, and the little, what do you call those, bromelide plants that sort of grow almost on air, that type of thing, or
bromelide?
Isn't that what they call those?
I don't know. Never heard that before.
I think that's it. Yeah.
You sure about that? Huh?
No, I'm not sure about that.
We'll have to look
That's
that
why I
up.
asked you the question.
Don't.
Well, and here we go now, folks. There's nothing wrong with your TV set. It's just the camcorder that we were using decided on this trip to really go south. And we had a lot of problems with it, and we had a lot of black and white pictures, but we're going to show you anyway. Because now we are on our way, and we're traveling from the rainforest, and this is another area that we have little color, little black and white, whatever.
It's trying, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, but this was such a beautiful area, and
Yeah.
I'm sick. I wanted to take that camera and throw it in the Atlantic Ocean, but couldn't do that anyway because it was the only one that I had. But now we're getting ready. We've picked up a group of young American exchange students that are going to go down the river with us, and the guy that you see in the middle, he's Costa Rican. That's Maynard, and he was really our guide, and he was our instructor. And this guy really knew his business, didn't he?
Good.
He was good.
Oh yeah.
And so here we're sitting at the table having breakfast because we had a real good breakfast before we went on down to the river to get in our rafts. And this was a 2-day trip. We rafted one day, and then we camped out in the jungle the next day, and then we continued that day too. But here, there are a lot of young people here at this place. In fact, the kids that are going along with us, and also the kids that are serving too. And this was an enterprise that they had here. And I guess this is probably part of the rafting situation right there. But I was intrigued because of this village that we saw. They came by some beautiful old churches and some old buildings. It was just beautiful because there are volcanoes off in the background. And again, I apologize for what our camcorder is doing, but it was deciding it wanted to go on its own trip, I guess.
Those kids were so cute.
They were great.
So enthusiastic.
Really.
Really. It was
They were in Costa Rica to study the language and the customs area, and they were doing a good job because their Spanish was very good.
And they came from all over the United States, not just in one locale.
Right, and they, as we say, they were like exchange students or college students that were going down there to study. And we're going down now to the river, and will join us on our next adventure there. But if you have an interest in any of our trips, give Betty a call. It's time to say goodbye.
Bye-bye.